Oh. Let's take some speed here. Oh. Oh, cut off, no more battery. Guys, it's done. No more battery. So, guys, 35 minutes. 35 minutes. 35 minutes with a forest lipo. Forest lipo. 6500 milliamp. Yeah. Nothing broke. Guys, I want to give you some tips about the LMT. Either being the kit or the roller version, you have to take your time before running this truck. And if you are not necessarily experienced modelist, but if you are not in the entry level or if you have someone to support you, take your time to make those modifications before running it. It will save you some money and it make your experience way better. So first thing first, when you receive it, the truck, you have to check if your diff, front one, rear one, and certain one are not too tight. And for that, it's quite simple. You have 100,000 on rear and front axle, and 300,000 on the center. So if you turn a wheel, the power has to go through the minimal point of resistance. Not here, but here. But if you make this test, you will see that it makes a grinding noise and probably it makes those wheels turning. So that means that the tooth inside the differential are in contact. So the oil is not operating, but you see, this is not smooth. And if you want to drive it, making a close turn, things like that, you have to be sure that your diff are smooth. So for that, the first tip is to use that. What is that? This is the reference. Basically, a gasket for diff. But you have already a gasket inside your diff stock. And you just have to add another, in order the tooth of the pinion, not to be in contact. That's the first tips. So the second tips regarding the driveline, it's to shim. Now it's to shim. It's to shim the pinion which go through the clutch drive and transfer the power from the motor to the center diff. Because this pinion, you have to shim it inside with a 0.5 shim. It's enough, just to make sure that the tooth of these pinions are closer to the crown of the diff. See, that's all. Obviously, when you do those operations, since you will dismantle the diff, check your oil inside the diff. The level of this oil is important also. Not too much and not too less. Just it has just to arrive at the center of the diff. Okay. So for the driveline, obviously you have to. It's not a tips, but you have to put thread locks on the drive shaft. Okay, so okay, but other than that, it's okay. You will begin to have a lateral play like that. I mean, much bigger lateral play than this one of the axle, LMT axle. Focus yourself on the upper mount of the upper link. You can see the screw is moving because the bolt is not tightened enough to provide a strong support for the upper link. So I think to solve this, you have to unscrew it and you have to mount the screw on a reverse position. The head of the screw should be here, and outside you put the bolt. I've done it. You see, I've put the bolt outside with some thread lock, so the head of the screw is inside, and at least there, no more play. The only play that we see is the plastic things that has some play, but it's not the ball. The ball is strongly maintained now. You will broke, probably if you jump, you will broke the sway bar, but you will not broke it here, neither here, but generally it is this link, sorry, this link, which bends, or like it was for my case, break. So naturally I looked after some aftermarket part. I wanted to buy one from Crawford Performance Engineering. The design was good, but it was costly because I live in France. And after that, I thought, what link could make the job work? And I bet that everybody has many Allen keys that he does not use. And I use an Allen key. That's pretty simple. You put an Allen key. Okay. Here, of course, it's not already done, but you have to screw that with thread lock here also. But it's a ship replacement till it breaks again. Steering knuckles. When you jump, everything is due to jump. You attend some user complains that you lose the Kingpin. Yeah. Because here you have very small screw. It's a M1.5 screw, very thin, that cannot retain too much this Kingpin. So you just have to replace the screw by a bigger one. You can also use a grub screw, like this one. You see. It is actually a tap rod one, so it will make your work easier. You just tap rod the hole, and then you use a screw of the same diameter, the grub screw, and it's done. I did this modification very few times after I received the LMT, and the Kingpin did not fall off. Okay. So, also regarding the screws that you're using on this truck, when you can, always replace the original screw by M3, because if you are using, because as you can see here, M3 it's larger. The X size is larger than the M2.5. So since this truck it's very compact, it's quite hard to work on the truck, inside the truck, and you will be annoyed to work on, and you will strip your screws. So if you want to avoid to strip the screws, because it can be a mess after to take the screws off, just take the habits to replace each screws when you can by a bigger one. It will save you time, money, and effort, and give you. The work on the truck will be more pleasant, if you see what I mean. Because I think it's a flaw, and also it's a positive point. The truck is very compact, and when you want to access inside the truck, you see, if you have big fingers, it's very difficult. You have to. I'm coming from a TXT2, TXT1, and the plates are much more wide. So if you want to remove only one screw and you have to dismantle the whole trucks, it can be very time consuming and annoying. Okay. Also for the shocks, when I see the shocks, if you have more thicker oil, it's good to put 600 CST on the shocks. You will see the damping is improved, and also the shock rate is not hard enough. You don't have to buy LMT shocks harder rate. It's too hard, I think. But if you can use medium on front and medium on rear, or as I did, it's like the medium, but they are shorter. That way you have a positive damping. That way the wheels keep contact with the ground. Do it. Time will tell, and also do not put too much aluminum part, because aluminum does not absorb stress. It bends. It does not break. It bends. Whether the plastic can break, but before it bent, and it take its original form after. So, and if you have an heavyweight, an heavy truck, it will have it will put load on the ASC, for instance, on the motor, especially if you are using stock motor. I change it, but stock motor, it will begin to be hot. The battery will be hot. The runtime will fall. So, but strong things only where is very, very, very needed. Okay. Yes, I think that's all for the LMT. Hope you enjoy the content, and see you next time. Bye bye.